Before I touch my calendar, before I open Notion, before I start planning anything for the week, I ask myself these 3 questions. Because if I don't, I've found that I end up planning my week in a way that ends up burning me out. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Rebecca. I am a full-time creative, DJ, music producer, former corporate girly, now making 6 figures, doing things like freelancing, teaching, music, and digital products. And I do all this and only work about 25 hours a week. But that only works because I stop planning by time and I plan by energy. And this is part of what I call the creative energy map, which if you'd like more information on that, I have a video right here which explains the creative energy map and all of the 4 different creative energy states, which I'm going to briefly touch on in this video. So let's move into the questions. So question number 1, what actually moved the needle forward last week? So before I even start looking at planning my week ahead, I look at the previous week and I look at things like what created income or moved me towards my revenue goals, what created momentum for my client work, my creative projects, what created peace for me that week, especially if it's a really busy, hectic week, what gave me that room to have some peace and rest throughout the week, and what just kept me busy for busyness sake, which we do not want to do. We want to make sure that our hours are spent intentionally working on the things that are moving all of those things forward. So let me actually open up my Notion template and share what my week looked last week, and we can dive into it. This is my weekly planner. I have it linked down below if you're interested in this Notion planner for yourself. This is what my week looked like this past week and what moved forward for me. I got campaigns sent out for my clients. I finished music. I finished a song that I had been working on, and that again created momentum and moved things forward for my creative projects. I scheduled and posted a YouTube video last week, as I have a goal of posting 1 video a week. So I feel like I felt good about last week. I feel like it moved a lot of my goals forward. I hit my income and revenue goals that I had. And, just all in all, it was a really good week. I don't think I worked on anything that was not moving any of those things forward. I feel like everything that I had worked on and that I had planned to work on, again, just had that momentum and moved forward in the goals that I had. Question number 2 is, what energy state am I in, and what energy state do I need to be in for the upcoming week? So looking at my planner, now, again, if you're not familiar with the creative energy states, I'll go through them real quick. So we have Spark, which is our idea brainstorming, just coming up with ideas for maybe YouTube videos, for Instagram, for campaigns, whatever it is that you do creatively. This is the Spark energy. So then we have Craft, which is when you're working on that idea that you came up with in the Spark energy. So this is doing the deep focus work. So if it was coming up with a song idea, it's now executing on that song. Then we move into Output, and that is finishing up the ideas, the deep work. So that's scheduling the campaign, scheduling the YouTube video, reviewing metrics, finishing the song. Then we have Connect Energy, which is working with clients, having meetings, sending emails, social media, anything where you're connecting with others. So going back to my week, now I can take a look at, because I have everything color coded, I have it labeled, so I can see, okay, what sort of energy was I in this past week? And if I actually count these out, because it looks pretty well distributed, but actually I was in a lot of craft mode and output mode this past week. So I was getting a lot of ish done last week. I was creating campaigns, scheduling them. I was working on music, finishing music. So there was a lot of craft and output energy with some connect energy, but for the majority of it, it was craft and output. Now, when I think about my upcoming week, I know that I'll be working one-on-one with students next week. So I have probably about 7 or 8 one-on-ones planned, plus a group class. Because of that, I know that I will be in high connect energy and high craft energy because I'm going to be in this deep focus work with them, working on their projects. I'm going to be teaching them, class, some concepts. And so because I know I'll be in craft and connect energy, I need to make sure that the time spent outside of that then is not going to be expending more of that. I need to conserve that energy. I do have my client work as well. With that, I will probably be spending it more on looking at more of the output energy. So I'll schedule campaigns, I'll review metrics, maybe I'll do a little bit of light brainstorming work, but just things that aren't going to take so much of the crafting and connection energy, because I want to reserve that for the students so I can really be present and focus on them when I meet with them. All that to be said, think about, okay, what did my previous week look like? What kind of energy was I expending? What sort of energy will I need to be in for the next week? And how can I work with those energies? And also just check in with yourself and just see, like, how are you feeling as well? What are your energy levels physically, mentally going to be? And then that's going to kind of help you schedule out your time as well. So because I will be spending a lot of deep work and meeting with others next week, it is imperative for me to also schedule in some downtime, some rest time to recover. And just from being on screens and things like that, I just need to make sure that I will have that built into my week as well. So moving into question number 3, what would make this week feel like a win? This upcoming week, I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time doing one-on-ones with students, and I have a group class. So for me, my win will be being present and being there for my students and helping them. So if I'm able to accomplish that, I'm going to feel good by the end of the week. I'm going to feel like this is a really good week. I really, just followed through on my goals and what I wanted to accomplish this week. So for you, that might be something like, I'll feel really good if I get this client deliverable done this week. Or if you do content as well, I will feel really good if I get this one video scheduled next week. Just think again about the energies that you're going to be in and how you can support that win, that goal that you have for the upcoming week. So to reiterate, before you plan your week, ask what actually worked, what energy was I in last week, and what energy do I need to be in this upcoming week? And what would make this upcoming week feel like a win? What's the 1-2 things that I need to do to make this feel like I won this week? Then plan out your week from there. So the Notion template I shared in this video, I've linked down below if you want to try it out yourself, plan your week using the creative energy map states. I also have a 5-minute weekly reset in the Notion template that'll step you through this as well. And if you want to also see how I plan my week as a freelancer, watch this video right here, and I'll see you in the next one.